Hi, love. So much of conflict is what we don't say, what we don't address, both within ourselves and in the relationship. So when conflict happens, we are already hurt. Now, this could be a friendship, a romance, at the workplace, or on a sports team. I framed it around a sports metaphor, and I call it same team. Now, this is more than a metaphor. This is perhaps the most powerful, most interwoven tool that I can give you. It can make a significant difference in every area of your life. So let's take a look at how sports teams operate. You have teammates. Most likely you didn't pick them yourself, so you have had a choice of accepting who they are and working together, or fighting against that, and that usually doesn't last long in a team setting. Also, everyone has the same goal. The goal is not an entity of the team, but rather something outside the team that the team approaches together. Also, the team is flawed. There are different levels of skill in different areas, and then mistakes happen, attention falters, and even the strongest team member may screw up a play. When that happens, everyone shakes it off and keeps going because the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to accomplish the collective goal of the team. Stopping to assign blame about what didn't work out would work against that goal, and it could cost the game. Everyone simply rallies to fix the issue and carries on. So when you pick a person, you accept them as a whole. You don't get to pick and choose the attributes that they came with. You take the team as a whole. Now, it's important here to have a clear definition of who this person is, because you will be reminding yourself of this when they are behaving outside of their core behavior. So let's say if you know them to be a loving, giving, kind, and lively person, then that's what you are going to recall about them later. In any situation where you come across judgment or conflict, you have an opportunity for same team, even if it's you judging yourself. Let's explore a few basic rules and then a few examples. Rule number 1, you and the other person are on the same team, and the issue is your opponent. Even if you wholeheartedly blame the other person, the blame is the third player. What this does is create a space where both or all people involved can communicate without being under attack. Defensiveness will knock a person out of this faster than anything else. So agree to be on the same team and agree that the issue isn't either of you as people, but this third thing out there that you are working together to conquer. Now, this is where you remind yourself of whom your teammate is. You don't really think your teammate is a jerk. You know your teammate to be a kind, loving, giving, and lively person. So, for them to be behaving outside of that, something must be throwing them off balance. That something is your opponent. Your teammate needs your help. Okay, rule number 2, don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. The other person may have some strong feelings and struggle to express them in a way that doesn't sound angry or blaming or dismissive or victim-y to you. Now, this is likely an area neither of you have had much practice in yet, so the learning curve of expression through conflict with grace could be a wide one. Hold space for your teammate, like you would hold space on a sports team with someone struggling with a play. If they are stumbling through it but still trying, cheer them on. Don't take it personal. And if you are the one struggling through it, don't give up. Call a timeout, take a breath, but don't give up. Rule number 3, be honest. Part of being on the same team is being open and vulnerable. You have defense mechanisms in place that were created to specifically keep this from happening. It is counterintuitive to a mind that feels hurt and vulnerable and under attack. Start with simple statements that have one clear objective to communicate. I feel angry. What you did scared me. I feel betrayed. I feel like I can't trust you. I feel overwhelmed and I want to run away and avoid doing this right now, but I'm here because I really love you and I want to get past this, but I'm so mad. I don't know how to see it as anything different than how I feel right now in this moment. Do you see the difference? Be honest, keep it simple. Rule number 4, listen to your teammate. If they are agreeing to be open and honest, respect that. If you don't agree, withhold judgment. Your job right now is to listen, not to try to coerce each other. To be sure you heard them correctly, try the tool of, what I heard you say was, fill in the blank, is that right? There are many versions of this out there, but I particularly like how Donna Eden and David Feinstein lay it out in their book, Energies of Love. So, Energies of Love, great book. So here are a few examples of how same team can look, all right? Person number 1 has agreed to fix a broken stair banister, but hasn't done it. Person number 2 has reminded them several times over a length of time with still no results. Person number 2 has a parent almost fall and get injured because of the broken banister and wants to blow up at person number 1. So to approach this as same team, persons 2 and 1 are on the same team. The broken banister is the problem to overcome. Now there are a lot of potential emotions involved, like frustration at it taking a long time, irritation at being bugged to do it, anger and guilt at the almost accident. These can all be addressed, but they are not the main intent. These are more like when you have a teammate that messes up a play. You can address it, but to win the game, you have to keep going. So win the game, go talk about strategy after. So once you have a solution, you can go back and see what's still lingering. It's been my experience that a lot gets resolved when a happy solution is found. What is still there then becomes the new opponent, and then that can be addressed. When you are looking for solutions to the issue, be open to new ideas. Maybe person number 1 will never care to fix it. So instead, they would rather hire someone or trade watching a friend's child for an evening for them to come do it. As long as you are both working together to find a solution, rather than one or both of you trying to force a particular outcome, the answer comes that makes everyone happy. And don't say something like, fine, then let's move. You don't want to move? Then fix the banister. I offered a solution. That's manipulative and a fake attempt at resolution, both of which are foul plays. So, example number 2. You have a sibling that is very much outspoken against your lifestyle. You are at a family function and they are saying thinly veiled insults to try and gaslight you. This is an example of someone who isn't willing to be same team with you, but how you can keep that perspective and still keep you in a space of where you want to be. So you and your sibling are on the same team, and their perspective is the opponent to overcome. Now, as they make comments, you position the words away from you because you're not taking them personal, because they're really about your opponent, their perspective, not you. To see your sibling as more than a gaslighting jerk at the moment, recall your teammates' core personality traits and who you know them to be outside of this experience. And remember, you are okay to have feelings and emotions about what is happening, and you are fully capable of doing what is best for you, which may be to not be around them, and that's okay. Same team doesn't mean you are physically shoulder to shoulder with your teammate. What it does mean is that you can see them, not their faults, and release the heavy emotions surrounding your situation from your perspective so that you truly know what you are dealing with versus how you're feeling right then. Then you can respond in a way that is true to you rather than reacting in the heat of the moment. So, are you starting to see how this works? It takes some practice to be able to see how to position your team and your opponent. But if you, and especially both or all of you, are truly wanting to find a solution to get past the incident and move forward together, it becomes easy to see very quickly. So, let's say you dealt with the main issue of the broken stair railing, but there are still issues of anger and hurt feelings. You can give them all a turn as the opponent, but what you will probably find is that when emotions are placed as the third entity, compassion and understanding are quick to follow because the expression of those emotions goes from being attacking and biting to vulnerable and reaching out for connection. This means the person expressing is willing to be vulnerable and say, I feel ignored and overlooked. It's painful to me to feel dismissed because I feel like I don't matter, and I love you and I want to matter to you. Then the other person is agreeing to be vulnerable and say, I'm so sorry you felt that way. I do love you and you are important. I feel completely overwhelmed with all that has to be done, and I feel underappreciated and resentful that it's thought that I should just be able to fix anything because I know how. I need downtime, and even if things break, I need my space, I need time. Empathy comes forward, and you and your teammates step up to offer support and love to assist each other through this because you really do love and care for each other, even through a complicated and heated conflict. Now, love. I'm going to say something that might be hard to hear. If you are with someone who is not willing to do this with you, are you sure you are on the right team? And I don't mean that they have to be good at it, okay? They could be willing and just really get it all wrong, and it's a big mess, and maybe you need a facilitator, like a counselor, to help you both learn communication skills. I'm asking you to see, really see, if they are willing or not. If they aren't willing to be a part of the team, then perhaps it's time to position you and your heart against the problem of the other person not being willing to progress with you and ask if you can learn to live with that. I'm not trying to lean you in any direction, love. That is, other than the direction that allows you to feel loved and filled at the end of every day because you deserve that. So some ways to strengthen your energies to assist you through conflict, and these are in the book, The Energies of Love, are as follows. So when you are just full of emotion and you can't listen, like you're struggling to hear anything that they're saying because you're so angry or you're so anxious or you're so hurt or you're so shocked, it's impossible for you to be in that space of same team. You can do what's called the blowout, okay? And this is something that you want to say, time out, I need to step away. You don't want to do this at the other person. And this just helps get space back in your body so that you can release that emotion. And what that looks like is you breathe in, and as you breathe in, you gather up that emotion. It's so kind of a visual. You gather it up in your arms, you clench your fists and you clench your arms, and then you blow out really hard and throw your arms down. So I'm going to demonstrate that, okay? And you do that 3 times in a row, twice fast, once slow. So here's what it looks like. And that feels really good, and I'm not even upset. And if you need to repeat that, keep getting more and more emotion out, do it. Do it as many times as you need to, and then step back into that space and say, okay, now I think I can listen to you. If you feel like you have that space, but when you look at the other person, all you see is your opponent, all you see is that roar, that you've got going on. It can be helpful, and this is an energy thing, so this may be new for you to experience, but hey, give it a try. You have nothing to lose, except maybe feeling a little silly when you first try it. And it does work best if both people give it a try. Stand in front of each other, just as close as you feel comfortable. If that's 10 feet, then stand 10 feet from each other. Closer is a little bit better if you can manage. And then at the height of your heart, to the height of their heart, if they're same or taller, shorter, you draw figure 8s, okay? And there's a lot of things that this does for the energy and why this works and helping you feel more connective. Again, it's in the book, you can find it there. I'm not going to explain it right now, but just know that it's a very helpful tool. You can do one hand, you can do 2 hands, and it doesn't matter if do I start going up, do I start going out, it doesn't matter. Just figure 8s. You're making a figure 8 between you and the other person, okay? An infinity sign. This is an energetic communication. You don't have to think anything, you don't have to feel anything other than what you're already thinking and feeling. And so after doing this for a time, and slower is better, not like doing this back and forth because you're upset. You want to give a different feel to it, okay? More of a calm energy. And after you've been doing this for a while, if you're starting to feel more connective, then try and make eye contact with them and continue doing it. And especially if you see them doing it back, this is a nonverbal communication of, all right, I'm here, I'm trying, let's do this. I want to connect with you. I want this to, be something that's over between us so that we can get back to this happy space. And it does more than that, but that's one thing that you see visually, as you're doing it. So I hope this is helpful to you, love. It is a very, very powerful concept. And remember, magic does exist. It's love, and it's you, love. I'll see you soon.